$25 a day.
Yeah.
Yep.
Scott, I thought you might try and make Charlita jealous and be sitting so that you could look out the window and see the Gulf in the background.
Well, I'm actually across the street, so if I were outside on the deck, you'd be looking at a street and another house across the street. So
Oh, well, close enough.
I'm literally across the street and I cut through and I'm right there on Fort Myers Beach.
There you go.
I just got back from Panama City Beach where we have our place on Monday and came back to this kind of beautiful weather. So I'm happy for you that you're there.
Well, I know when we arrive home, it's supposed to be 65 on Sundays.
It's supposed to get up to 60 today. I know that much. I saw that.
Yeah, I was just excited the hurricane missed us. So.
Well, there's a hurricane running through now, but it was coming right down, heading toward the Gulf and then heading due west. It's missing every part of the southern part of the United States, so we got lucky.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a crazy weather season.
Yeah, on Sunday up here in Summit County, we had terrible storms. And in fact, the next street over, they're still without power.
Oh my.
When did you leave? Did you leave, Scott? Did you leave Sunday or when?
Saturday. We had a 1:30 flight, got down here at 4 o'clock, and I will tell you, we rolled into Fort Myers Airport, and I think we were the last flight at 4 because all the restaurants, everything was shut down. The airport was absolutely dead at 4.
Yeah. But you missed, I think it was Sunday down here where we had like 50-mile-an-hour winds the whole time. Oh, did you start the recording? Thank you.
Yes, the recording's on.
Yes, I noticed that. That's Chris being efficient.
I see Mike Kreitz initials down on the bottom, but I haven't seen him.
I saw him earlier.
Okay.
So
I'm here.
Maybe what we can do is Ms. Check and others, if you are not currently before the commission, shut off your video. That way the commissioners can be showing with whomever they are going to be discussing particular matters with.
Okay.
And if I misappropriately said your name, I apologize.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of weird in that, I mean, as I'm looking at things, I see you, I see Dennis, I see Natasha. Mr. Kreitz and Mr. Beatty are both, I don't see their videos, but they were both there earlier.
I've got Otto, Dennis, Natasha, and you.
And I've got Don Matee as well.
Yeah, Don. I just let Don in, but I don't see him anywhere.
I don't either.
Although I didn't quite recognize him. He usually wears a tie when he comes before this distinguished tribunal.
Right.
Oh, has Don gone casual on us?
Oh yeah.
See, I don't see Don. So are you here in town, Don, or are you in North Carolina?
I'm here. Can you?
Oh, okay.
Yes, I'm here. I see all of you, so I don't know why you
There
don't
he
see
is.
me, but
Now I
There.
see.
Now I
okay.
can see you. Yeah. Okay.
Hi,
Haven't
this
seen
is
you in a
Katie.
while,
I'm
Mr.
here.
Hyde.
Hello.
Good morning, Katie.
Hello.
We heard you.
Hi. I don't have a link to get onto the Teams. Do I need to be on video or?
I'm not sure who that is who's speaking to us, but yes, that would be
it's-
our preference. If you
It's
go to the
Katie.
commission,
Connor.
if you go to the commission's website at elc.ohio.gov, there is a link there
Okay.
that would allow you to link.
I just admitted Catherine Cunningham, so she should be here.
I'm here. Can you see me?
I cannot.
Yeah. I can
I
see
guess
you.
this continues to be the mystery of the ages, why we all see different screens.
Yeah, I apologize. Quality. Try switching to a better. Oh, that's great.
Don, are you here for the advisory opinion?
I'm here for the advisory opinion. Don McTighe.
Don, can you do us a favor and just, obviously we're gonna roll through our other matters beforehand. If you would shut off your video, that allows us to see people that are actually up and before us at the
Oh.
time.
Okay, sure.
Much appreciated. Thank you.
May it please, Tom Kerrigan, and I'm here with James Fry for the hearing. We're actually on the telephone, obviously. In order to get video, can you provide us with that?
As I just said earlier, if you go to the commission's website at elc.ohio.gov,
Yes.
you can find the Teams link there. If he just goes to the front page, you'll see the date for the meeting, right, Chris? Good. Just go to the meeting. The meeting date is on the first page. If you just click on that meeting date, the link will be there.
Hold on a second. Okay, we're going to do that right now, I think.
We're getting a little bit more technologically proficient here. Yeah. Yeah, that would move on.
Throw it on the back, and then we'll put the computer right here. That will be on the
So
We're just waiting on Charlita.
correct.
There's
Hey, now I get to
Catherine.
see
You
Catherine.
finally popped up.
Well, lucky me.
I don't need that. You need this.
Is it Kerrigan Bowler?
No, is it in the chat?
Did you just admit Charlita? She's
I
in.
did.
She's here.
She here?
Ms. Tavares, are you among the present? I saw her name and I see her initials at the bottom.
Well,
She's here.
Yeah, I
She
see
is
her.
here.
Oh, stay over here? My camera's over here. Okay. This is Stephanie Ratliff. I'm having technical difficulties, so.
Stephanie, until we pull up your case, would you do us a favor and just stop your video so that we can have the commissioners present?
Okay, if I know how to do that.
Just
So
click
there's
on the
just-
camera button in the upper right-hand corner.
camera icon there.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, you're
Yes.
kind of weak, but I can hear you. At least you were weak to me. I'm not sure about everybody else.
Yeah, it kept making me restart. I've been doing this for 20 minutes now.
Oh,
There you go.
Now we can see you.
How can I?
Once you get that list, give it to me if you would, please, since you're being more efficient than me.
He doesn't want to see me. Will I be able to turn it back on?
Yeah, probably. You just gotta click the same button, turn it back on.
Okay.
So I can't see Mike or Natasha. Every other commissioner, and you, Phil, are there.
Yeah, I can't see them. Right at the moment, I'm not even seeing Otto either.
He's here. I can see him. He's just on mute.
Right. Well, no, I'm just saying I don't see his, not that I need to see his face, but I don't see his face, which, who knows? I got to figure out some kind of answer to that because it's like, okay.
I do see Mike. I do see Mike and Natasha's initials down. Send this.
Yeah, see, for me, if I do the +4, I would get that. Let me go here.
When you're ready to be on camera.
Come on. Interesting.
Well, Phil, I think it's clear that all the commissioners are present.
Correct.
So if we would like to get started.
I think we should.
All right. I'd
I
like
think
to
we
call. I'd like to call the November 19th meeting of the Ohio Election Commission to order. I would ask that you take a roll call of the commissioners.
I will do so. Either, I guess at this point, I would say, I'm only seeing Ms. Cunningham, Mr. Norman, Mr. Bromer, and Ms. Tavares. So Mr. Beatty, Mr. Kreitz, Ms. Kaufman, I'd ask you all to say here, and I'll start though with Ms. Cunningham. Or you could raise your hand, Catherine. I can see you.
I'm here.
There you go. Ms. Tavares, Mr. Norman.
I'm here.
Mr. Beatty.
Here.
Thank you. Mr. Kreitz.
Here.
Ms. Kaufman.
Here.
Chair Bromer.
Here. Phil, I think you froze.
Something went wrong. Okay, there we go. Mr. Bromer.
Yes, the next order of business is approval of the minutes. Are there any additions or corrections? And I think I have one before we go any further. Phil, could you tell me why in the beginning of the minutes, it states that all commissioners are present, and then it said the motion passed 6-0 to approve the minutes?
Because I was not present at the meeting before, so I wasn't entitled to vote.
Okay, that's the explanation. All right, having heard that, are there any other corrections or additions to the minutes?
I move
Not
approval.
hearing any, is there a motion?
I move approval of the regular minutes of October 29, 2020.
Second.
There's a
Thank you,
motion
Ms.
and second.
Tavares.
There's a
I'm sorry,
motion
go
and
ahead.
second to approve the October 29th minutes of the Ohio Election Commission. All those in favor of that motion, put your hand up or say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. That motion passes.
All right, at this point, I turn it over to Phil. It appears we have a lot of people waiting. I can't see most of them, but
Yeah, we do. I've got a listing from Chris here for most of the persons that are present. Just to give a heads up for Don McTighe, we're going to hold you off for a while, Don, only because that'll be the last thing we probably take up before we do everything else. The first case I'm going to call up, only for his benefit, is 2020 R-393, which is item number 28. Marty Gelfand et al. He'd requested a continuance, and I've indicated, I think I indicated to him that would be continued. So that's on the continuance list. I don't know that we need to take action on that right at the moment, but I don't know if he needs to stick around any longer as it relates to that particular case, because his matter has been continued. He needs additional time to take care of dealing with the Board of Elections. So we chatted earlier in the week.
Mr. Gelfand, your case is continued, so if you don't want to sit and listen to the rest of this, you may move on with your day.
Thank you. I will do that. I appreciate it. Thank you for the continuance.
You're welcome.
The next item I'm going to request to call up, he had sent me an email only after I'd gotten up here, is item number 19, 2020R-384. Mike Perkins. It's under the $25 a day with reconsideration option with a payment of $250. I know Mr. Perkins is present. He was questioning why he was given this notice and why he was here. Well, that's why. Because, let's see here, I want to look at my, no, that is on the updated list, I think. Come on. There it is. This involves a failure to file an addendum with the Cuyahoga County Board of Elections. The board indicated that the report was that the addendum was due in April, essentially. This is the third case since 2019 involving Mr. Perkins. If you look at the ICW, it's in the updated ICW list, which I sent out yesterday. Because of when I originally looked at this matter, I didn't have a date from the board when the addendum was to be filed, but they're reflecting an addendum due on April 15th. We found a violation, but for good cause in a 2019 case and imposed a $150 fine in a 2020 case. That fine has not been paid, and so now here we are again. So, Mr. Perkins, if you are there, I'd ask you to come forward, take off your mute and address the commission if you wanted continuance to try and deal with the Board of Elections and file your reports or what have you. We could certainly consider that. Now I'm not seeing him listed in the person.
Is he by phone or is he by way of video? Because there's numbers that we don't know who they are.
Is he listening in?
Mr. Perkins, is there?
Well, he was listening in according to Chris and looking at the chat. I have the participants list open and not the chat list.
Maybe you just wait until it comes around on the regular docket as we approach it.
Yeah, I guess so. He had indicated in his email he was in some sort of AG training from 9 to noon. Was wondering why he was involved in this. Well, this is why. It's why you're involved here. But if you don't want to be involved, so be it. Okay, I guess we can just hold off on that until later.
There's a message from him in the chat.
That's what Chris was saying, yeah.
Okay.
The next matter, I guess, that I would try and bring forward is 2020R-389. Okay, that's in the $100 fine category. Item number 24, Don Corrigan. That
I am here.
Is in the updated.
Mr. Kerrigan, if you would put your video down until such time as your case calls, that would be helpful for us.
So I think Don Corrigan is present. She's the respondent.
Yes, I'm here.
I
Don, do you
am.
have video?
I would prefer to not be on video because I am at home in bed with COVID.
Okay.
So if that's all right with you, I would ask that, I can talk, but I cannot put my video on.
Well, okay. Well, I guess I will still then ask you, though, to be sworn, if you would. Not our general preference, but we'll make it work. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay. As I indicated, Ms. Corrigan, you filed a response. I've synopsized that, sent it to commission members. You were referred to by the Board of Elections for not timely filing an addendum. It was filed in August. There's a prior matter in which we found that there was violation but good cause early this year for a late filing of the pre-general report. And so my recommendation to the commission at this point is to find that there is a violation and impose a $100 fine. You can certainly address the commission now and raise whatever other issues you may believe are appropriate.
Yes, I mean, I can't deny that I was 1 day late on the August filing, and I was late on the rest in the spring. I work as a speech pathologist in a school, and our worlds got turned upside down. And quite honestly, it was just, I was focused on getting my job done through the schools, and I was not timely. So I understand.
Okay, well, my recommendation is what it is. I wasn't necessarily planning on changing anybody. Any questions or comments from commission members? I don't have any other questions.
I move that we find a violation and impose a fine of $100.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. I'll now ask for approval by the commission. I'd ask for oral approval. I'm not seeing Mr. Beatty right at the moment, but Ms. Tavares,
Yes.
Ms. Kaufman,
Yes.
Ms. Cunningham,
Yes.
Mr. Beatty,
Yes.
Mr. Kreitz,
Yes.
Mr. Norman,
Yes.
Chair Bromer.
Yes.
That motion passes 7-0.
Ms. Corrigan, get better, and thank you for your service.
Yep.
Thank you so much. Okay, bye-bye.
The next one I would bring forward is is case number 2020 R-401, Richard Montgomery. It is currently on the continue for service list because we didn't have good service. I believe that case as well. Give me a second and I'll find my recommendation sheet.
Is Mr. Montgomery prepared to move forward today?
That's what we will find out. I think. Oh, the other way.
Yes, I'm here. I'm sorry, I had my mic on mute.
Okay.
Unless it's on an updated ICW, it's got still non-compliance on the regulars.
I don't think it was, I don't think I listed it as updated.
It's not in my updated.
Yeah, let me, I know I had gotten an update from the Board of Elections on those. I think it was due, most of those were due like mid-May, mid-April, somewhere. Mr. Montgomery, did you filed your report?
Yes, I have been working with the Board of Elections. And first, let me, say, I want to thank the commission for hearing
Well,
us.
let me hold you off there for a second, Mr. Trying to do two things at once, which is never a good idea. Let me ask you, Mr. Montgomery, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, thank you very much. I am currently trying to find my my update sheet. Bear with me.
Dr. Montgomery, while he's doing that, we were supposed to be continuing this case for lack of service. Did you receive service of the complaint in this matter?
I did receive it. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And I sent a response, which should have arrived at the commission yesterday. I sent a certified mail.
Well, I did not get the mail this morning, but my staff member did, Mr. Hughes. And it was not included. It was not included in the mail this morning, and I had not received anything prior to that.
Well, I apologize. I sent it next day mail 2 days ago, so it should have arrived at the commission at 10 o'clock yesterday morning.
I mean, you know, like I said, we come on, thing, open up. We were not in the office yesterday, but we were certainly here this morning. It was nothing when I walked in the door, however it's been supplied, it's generally been there. It is. Okay, the last note I had from the Board of Elections, Mr. Montgomery, was that the board sent addendums to you to sign on November 11th. Did you sign those and resubmit those to the Board of Elections?
Yes, sir, I have.
Okay. Well, if you would like, you know, if you would like to make a statement that affirmatively reflects when those reports were submitted, explains the circumstances from your perspective on what occurred, we can certainly take that into consideration. And I could change my recommendation if you want to go ahead and try and get this matter resolved today.
Can I make a suggestion? Maybe we continue to the next hearing so that we can make sure that all the reports have been done and we can actually see the response before we're taking the matter up for consideration.
That's certainly possible as well.
When's our next meeting?
December
Mr. Richter?
17th.
I'm
December
sorry,
17th. Yeah.
Right. So the question is, I suppose, to Mr. Montgomery, whether, or Dr. Montgomery, my apologies, whether you are willing to just have us put the case on the agenda for the 17th and take it up when we've had the opportunity to receive and review your response.
Yes, I would appreciate that, so that Rosemary, when I spoke to her Monday, said that she would confirm with the commission that I've met all the requirements that led to the initial referral. So I would like to have the commission reconsider that once there's confirmation from the Board of Elections and that after you've received my response.
Okay, we can keep that on the continued list for continued for service then, just to continue it and go from there.
Mr. Richter, can we continue it to a date certain so Mr. Montgomery know to put it on to the 17th so he knows to participate on that date?
Sure, if you want to move to do that, that's certainly possible and available for the commission as well.
Mr. Montgomery, are you available on the 17th of December?
I will be.
Okay. I'm going to move that the case be continued until December 17th of this year and add it back on the agenda for consideration.
Second, Savaris.
All in favor? I guess I'm just going to do it this way. All in favor, please either raise your hand or say aye.
Aye.
That's unanimous. That matter will be continued to December 17th.
Dr. Montgomery, before you go, can you make sure we have your correct address to serve this to you?
Yes, it's 2073 East 221st Street, Euclid, Ohio, 44117.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Got
Doctor.
it. Thank you.
See you the 17th.
The next matter that I would call up is case number 2020R-425, item number 6.
To get us on, it'd be star 6 to be able to tell them that we're going to get ready to do this.
Rejoin, I would think.
I'll handle it.
to the Board of Elections, that I think Chris contacted him yesterday. The reports had not yet been filed for this case. This is one of the cases that is on the updated list of matters. Because I originally had it down, I think as to be determined. And then, like I said, subsequently the board indicated that the reports had not been filed. We did get a response from her that has been synopsized and sent to all of you. Due to financial hardships, external stress factors, and the coronavirus, the need to file a report was not filed. Sorry about that. That's the best way of putting it. The treasurer intends to file the report in short order, but according to the Board of Elections, at least as of yesterday, the report was not filed. Ms. Check, if you would keep going back and forth on the stupid thing. Guess we would ask you to open your video.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you. And would you be sworn, please? Do you
Yeah.
swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, thank you. If you need, and it's similar to what the case we just dealt with, if you need additional time because the reports have not been filed, we can certainly suggest that. But as I indicated, at least according to the board yesterday, the reports have not yet been filed.
Okay.
What indicate to the commission what your status is currently?
I was told my treasurer submitted them, but there's errors, so we're gonna need to resubmit them. I had a major car accident back in February, and I know my treasurers have some pretty financial hardships too. And with the coronavirus, we just haven't been able to get together. We were supposed to get together last weekend, but they had to social distance because they were in close contact with someone that tested positive. So it's getting done. It just we haven't been able to meet yet and get it done.
Similar to what I'd say Ms. Cunningham suggested with the prior case, is that something would it be appropriate to move your matter to December, and would this all get resolved by then? We could certainly do that.
Okay.
Ma'am, does that give you enough time, or maybe pull it up into January since you still don't believe all the reports are prepared and ready?
Yeah, because I'm getting ready to graduate and I have exams. So that'd be perfect actually.
Okay.
Mr. Richter, can you tell us when the January dates are?
It is
January January is
the 14th.
January 14th and January 28th are the two dates that I currently have on the commission's schedule.
Okay, either of those days are fine with me.
Well, I'm not hearing anything, but I would move that we continue this case until January the 14th, 2021.
Okay, that's a motion by Mr. Bromer.
Norman,
Second, Kreitz.
Those dates are fine, or that day is fine with me.
Okay. Did I locked up there for a second. Did somebody could second that motion?
Second, Cunningham.
Thank you. Okay, so we have a motion and a second to continue this matter to January 14th. All in favor signify by saying aye or raising your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
You, that is unanimous. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ms. Check, can you give your current address before you leave, please?
Yes, it's 801 Burnport Drive. That's BYRNEPORT. That's Toledo, Ohio, 43609.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The next matter I would bring before the commission is 2020 R-411, Stephanie Ratliff. It is item number 47. Nope. No, hold on. Item number 46, Mount Strong Schools Strong Community Committee. It's on the good cause list. Ms. Ratliff, if you would be sworn, do you?
I lost. I do. I think I lost you.
I think we all lost him.
I think we all lost him.
Okay.
I didn't show myself as being lost. Previously, I did after you made that motion before, Mr. Chairman. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, thank you. Well, every once in a while things work. All right, Ms. Ratliff, my recommendation to the commission is to find that there was a violation, but for good cause not impose a fine or refer the matter for further prosecution. Is there anything else you would like to inform the commission of as we go forward?
Mr. Richter, I'm sorry, was the witness sworn?
Yes.
Did I miss that? Apologies.
Well, I understand I've been going in and out at various times, and sometimes it shows me that I have gone in and out, but that time it didn't. But yes, eventually I swore her in.
No, I don't have anything further to add, except I appreciate, I think I got my letter to you explaining what happened, just major oversight, first time it had happened in 15 years. So it was filed. I will try to stay on top of it.
Okay.
So, all right.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
So that is my recommendation is to find good cause. Is there a motion, second, and action?
This
I
is
move
Norman.
we concur.
Go ahead, Dennis.
I said I move we concur with the executive director's recommendation of find good cause and not impose a fine.
Okay.
Norman, second.
Thank you. I guess I'll do since we're actually taking an action, I'll just continuing it. Ms. Cunningham,
Yes.
Ms. Kaufman,
Yes.
Ms. Tavares,
Yes.
Mr. Beatty. You can just raise your hand, Otto. I can see you. Right now, I can see you. Who knows what will happen in the next 5 minutes? Mr. Kreitz.
Yes.
Mr. Norman.
Yes.
Chair Bromer.
Yes.
That motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much. The next item I would call forward is item number 2020 R-394. Katie Iaconis is present.
Can you hear me?
And, oh, is that a continued?
No, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
All right, that matter
Sorry.
is on the continued by, on my request. And the reason I was doing that, that's an updated one, right? Yeah. Hold on, bear with me for a second. Is because there it is. There was a response which I circulated to everybody, but according to the Board of Elections, the report had not yet been filed. It was due last May. Her response indicated that her mother, who's the treasurer, had health issues. Candidates attempted to fill in and file, but not necessarily met all the deadlines. I guess, Ms. Iaconis, you're aware we have continued some other matters when the report has not been filed. At least when I got a report back yesterday morning from the Board of Elections, they were indicating that the report had not yet been filed. Do you have any more information? I guess that first off, I'll ask you, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, thank you very much. Do you need a continuance on this matter to give more time to file the report? Has it been filed? What is it that you would like to tell the commission?
Well, I'm sorry. I will say it obviously everyone's had issues this year, but I have not. I'm almost done with making the corrections they asked for. I did file everything initially timely, but as you alluded to, my mom is my treasurer. She has a cancer diagnosis and is very ill. I know it's not an excuse for not doing it, but I'm also the finance director and personnel director for a city that I've been very busy. We've had a lot of COVID cases. It's just been a really awful year for a lot of people. So I'm almost done with making the changes, and we'll have it into them shortly. Before the end, I thought by this time this month, but hopefully within the next week.
Well, I'll ask similar to what other commission members have asked in other cases. The next two commission meetings, at least, are December 17th and January 14th. Is there either one of those dates that you might prefer this matter be continued to?
I would possibly prefer the January, only because I'm in the middle of budget time for the city. If the members would be agreeable to that, I hope to have it done before then, of course.
Okay, I'm assuming on behalf of the commission that wouldn't be a problem, and we can go ahead and make that motion to continue this to that date, so that you're aware that this will be called back. I'm sorry, go ahead, Mr. Farrar.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I move that we continue this case until January 14th of 2021.
Second, Kaufman.
Thank you, Ms. Kaufman. That motion, that action has been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye or saying yes.
Aye.
Thank you. That motion passes unanimously. Ms. Iaconis, this matter will be back before the commission in January.
Thank you all. I appreciate it, and hope you all have a nice holiday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Hughes has just given me a note that has a couple of more matters that I'm going to highlight, presuming I'm smart enough to find where I have them. The first one I guess I'm going to call up is 2020 R-385. Which is in the $150 fine category. Chris Callender. Mr. Callender, are you present out there? Chris is saying he was just a bit ago.
I saw his name because I was the one who admitted him to the Teams meeting.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm not getting a response, so I presume he's not present.
And I don't see his initials anymore.
Yeah. All right, then the next one is 2020 R-392, which is item number 27, where I've consolidated the cases. Find a violation, impose a fine of $300. Allison Lisa Nelson Floyd. There's Lawrence Floyd present. Mr. Floyd, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Can you open your video?
Do you have video available?
I just hit the video. It should be showing.
There you are. Okay. Would you be? First off, I would say, what is your relation in this matter?
I am the judge's treasurer.
Okay, you are the treasurer. Okay, would you want to be sworn to address the commission? Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
I do.
Hey Phil, I'm showing him as attorney Lawrence Floyd.
Yes.
Yeah, but if he is the treasurer for the committee, he would not necessarily be addressing the commission as counsel for the committee, easy for me to say, but as the treasurer. So then we would swear him in.
Yeah.
Bear with me. I'm trying to find that case and why I'm recommending $300 fine. Okay, the report was filed. It was an annual report due January 31 that was filed on June 30. Along with that case, there is a prior matter, 2020 R-045, which was for an addendum. I was consolidating those cases and recommending the imposition of a $300 fine because there were essentially two matters out there. We had done a prior case back in 2012 in which we imposed a $100 fine. I could come back from that fine amount. And Mr. Floyd, if you would like to address the commission and indicate to them any other information they believe would be helpful.
Yes, we had some issues with a prior filing that needed correcting, and it ran into the time period in which the annual report should have been filed, but we held off on doing that until we rectified the previous report so that there would be some consistency or some correctness in the filing. And as a result, it took a while longer than anticipated. I had some illness that I had to deal with, and we did subsequently file our paperwork with the board. Ms. Amato was a great help in figuring out what steps needed to be done and assisting in getting those reports finalized and filed. So we would ask for either a good cause or for a minimal fine in lieu of the $350 fine, I believe the chair expressed that we were looking at.
Mr. Richter, I know there were two that are being consolidated here. Was the previous violation back in 2012?
Yes, that is the previous violation that the commission found. Hold on a second, I had that. Well, yeah, I mean, case number 2020 R-042 was also open, but as the board referred, this matter to us. Oh, I got a note from Chris. It was for failing to file an addendum. I think that he had referred to, the issue that they had on the prior cases. And so I was consolidating those forward. But yeah, the only other prior, well, there's obviously a couple of priors, but they go back 2012, 2008 would be this. I mean, part of the reason for my $300 fine recommendation is the fact that there was no response submitted to the commission previously, but we had the prior matter. I mean, I would change my recommendation based on the fact, or based on the response from Mr. Floyd, that the commission find a violation and only impose a $100 fine.
Mr. Richter,
Floyd, you can have additional. I'm sorry, go ahead.
You indicated there was a prior fine. Was that paid?
Yes.
Okay.
In 2012, it was paid.
Okay. And then Mr. Floyd, I know Mr. Richter said that I just want you to affirm, are you participating in this proceedings in your capacity as the treasurer, not in your capacity as the attorney for the committee?
That is correct.
Okay.
So I've changed my recommendation. Does a commission member want to take an action? And I would still consolidate these cases so that we can resolve both of them at the same time.
This is Norm. I move we consolidate. Go ahead, Dennis.
No. Go ahead.
Well, the executive director's recommendation is to consolidate case 2020 R-392 with 2020 R-402.
042.
And find a violation, excuse me, and impose a fine of $100. Is there a motion?
I just want to make sure we're clear on the record. The second case we're consolidating was 2020 R-042, not 402.
Correct.
What I said. It's 042. Yep. Sorry.
Yep. I move that we follow the executive director's recommendation, and this is Commissioner Norman.
Correct.
Second, Kreitz.
Thank you, Mr. Kreitz. A second to consolidate two cases, 2020 R-392 and 2020 R-042, find a violation and impose a $100 fine. I'll now ask for the commission to respond. Mr. Beatty?
Yes.
Ms. Kaufman?
Yes.
Ms. Tavares?
Yes.
Ms. Cunningham?
Yes.
Mr. Kreitz?
Yes.
Mr. Norman?
Yes.
Chair Bromer?
Yes.
That motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mr.
Thank you.
Floyd.
Thank you, Mr. Floyd. Let's see. I have a couple of other names that I'm not sure, here there are guests, there's an anonymous, there's a phone number. One is Rick Gable, who is present. Mr. Gable, is there a matter for which you have an interest? Or are you just observing? Okay, well then I see phone number 937-492-6127. You're currently muted. Is there an issue that you are wanting to speak about?
This is Tom Kerrigan on behalf of James Fry, Sheriff-elect of Shelby County. We were told by Mr. Richter that we would have a hearing today, so that's our number.
Oh.
492-6125 or 6127.
Oh, no, I did not put that matter forward today because if I had indicated that, I'm sorry. I don't believe that to be the case. No, that matter's not going forward today. That matter's not going forward today because I know there's still materials that need to be reviewed by the complainant, potentially by the Board of Elections, and I'm not aware of where those are. So that'll be called up at a later date.
Okay, would that be December, you think, or January?
I would anticipate that being at least January.
Okay. All right, sir. I appreciate that.
Sorry for any confusion.
Thank you.
Have you been in contact with the Board of Elections on his behalf, or is he? Do you know?
The complainant you're talking about, Mr.
No, the respondent. Yeah, either you on behalf of the respondent or the respondent in that case.
I'm on behalf of the respondent, and the respondent's here with me, Jim Fry.
Oh, okay. Well, you'll be notified when that matter will come up in the future. I apologize if there's any confusion. I didn't mean to have that happen.
All right, thank you.
Do we have accurate information for them, Phil?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
No problem. Thank you. I see a phone number of 937-498-7208.
Yes.
Are you calling because of a case? What's the circumstance?
Right. Well, I've been on the line on and off regarding the case of Jordan v. Fry.
Oh.
You had sent a notice saying I'm sorry, I interpreted this as the notice was being done by this meeting, or excuse me, the hearing.
Okay. No, that matter is not being addressed today.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Sorry about that.
So should I be available will it be teleconference in the future or?
Yes. And you will receive notice of that when official notice goes out.
And that'll be by email, is that correct?
Correct.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. Okay, I see someone out there listed as anonymous. And that person is currently muted. If you would like to address the commission, I guess you could remain anonymous and continue to listen, or you can indicate what case you're interested in participating with. All right, now I see Rick Gable back and he is listed there. You're currently muted, Mr. Gable. What case are you linking in for a particular matter? But you're muted, so I can't hear you. Or did you just want to listen in? All right. Well,
Mr. Gable, we're asking for some action. There we go.
All right. Well, that's about it that I've got that I can see that we have not otherwise responded to. Is there anybody else out there wanting to speak on a particular case that I've not called forward previously? I would encourage you to unmute yourself and address the commission. I guess that not being the case, then I would indicate to the commission, for the benefit, I guess, of Mr. McTighe, we could take up the advisory opinion at this point. How we want to work with that approval, whatever. We can certainly hear additionally from Mr. McTighe if the commission is so inclined to act on the advisory opinion at this point. Oh.
He's just coming back in.
I was going to say, did you disappear there for a second?
I also see a Brian Katz in here, Phil.
Brian Katz is with the Secretary of State's office.
Okay. I'm not on my video because apparently my video is completely locked. I'm hearing everything, but every video is frozen for me, so that's why I've just shut down my picture.
Okay. Yeah, I can't see your handsome face either. Don, if you want to unmute yourself, I'm not sure if there's anything else you want to say at this point, I'll call forward the advisory opinion. The request was put in by Mr. Klinger, Don's associate. It requests the commission's an opinion from the commission on legal fees that are have been incurred by the staff of the office holder, but they have been related to the office holder's duties. And so I think consistent with the commission's prior opinions and advisory opinions on use of legal fees, I think I feel like I've responded appropriately and staked out a position for the commission that would be appropriate if the commission is acceptable to it. I'll let you know, I did talk briefly this morning with Ms. Cunningham, and she indicated that there were a couple of typos. And I think, Ms. Cunningham, I found those typos and have already corrected them, depending on what you have to say. One was on, it should have been staff members, and I think I had, and another was the word normal that did not have an R in it.
Okay. Those are the
anyway, so those on my, not the one you have, but on mine that I have here and will circulate to Mr. Bromer, if we approve this, would circulate to Mr. Bromer for approval. I have made those corrections. I could circulate it to everybody if you really want to see it, but they're relatively minor typos. Anyway, Mr. McTighe, would you like to address the commission further, or please address the commission further.
Thank you, Phil, members of the commission. I'm standing in today for Derek Klinger, my associate.
I was going to say, hold on, before you go any further, Don, report to everybody why Derek is not.
Yes, his wife gave birth to twins last week, so he tripled the size of his family. Yes, so as I said, two more Democrats. I mean, not all commission members may agree, but we'll see in 18 years.
They didn't vote in the last election, did they?
No, they were born after the election. Yeah. So.
Yeah, but from everything we understand, they were just taking votes randomly, and so I'm just wondering whether they did vote.
Well, I think that Derek will be back. He's on paternity leave right now. He'll be back in a couple of weeks. But we appreciate the quick turnaround with the draft opinion. I've read it. Obviously, I like it. So I really have nothing further to add.
Don, I've never heard you be that brief.
All right, so Phil, what action needs to be taken at this point?
What action would need to be taken is we obviously move approval of the opinion and give direction to the chair to sign on behalf of the commission. That's the way we normally approach that, if the commission is okay with approving this advisory opinion, which I wouldn't have circulated if I didn't think I had taken the right position. So I don't have a whole lot to add either.
Is there a motion to approve the advisory opinion?
This is Norman. I move to approve the advisory opinion.
And to direct the chair to sign on behalf of the commission?
Correct.
Thank you. Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
I second it.
Seconded by Chair Bromer. Okay, I will now go around requesting approval. Ms. Cunningham,
Yes.
Ms. Kaufman,
Yes.
Mr. Beatty,
You're on mute, Otto.
Yes.
see
I
a
know,
hand.
I gotta navigate my hand over. Yes.
Ms. Taveras,
Yes.
Mr. Kreitz,
Yes.
Mr. Norman,
Yes.
Chair Bromer.
Yes.
Okay, that matter, the advisory opinion has been approved.
Thank
And
you.
it will be, Don, I'll circulate it up to Mr. Bromer to sign. Once I get the signed copy back, I'll get a copy along to you officially, but you obviously have essentially the opinion.
Okay, thank you very much.
Hey, Don, pass along our congratulations to Derek.
Yes.
And
I
his-
will.
Please do.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, he's gonna be real busy for a long time.
That's right.
Okay,
Oi.
I think we've dealt with everything else. I will let you guys know, just coming off of advisory opinions. I am currently working one up right at the moment that I'm hopeful of getting to you by December. It's going to be a little bit more involved than the last one because it involves the interplay between federal rules and Ohio law. And I will probably, just to let you know, I will probably circulate a draft copy of that to the requester, because right now my position is based on his request to say, no, I am not going to approve what you want to do. And that person may withdraw the advisory opinion request. So I'll keep you apprised, but that's kind of where I am. I know you don't know anything else about it because I haven't given you any other details, but that's kind of where I am. I've been working on that for a couple of weeks. Finally got some guidance from the FEC yesterday after finding what I thought I needed to find on that particular case. Anyway, Mr. Chair, I guess we're over to the rest of the agenda then, and we can go back to go through the regular agenda.
All right, and I would ask everyone to remind me as I go down through here, the ones we already addressed. I was trying to make notes, but we were moving quickly, so hopefully I captured them all. The first case is 2020 R-372. In that case, the executive director recommends that no violation be found. Do you want to speak about that?
Yes, and I was just calling it up on mine. You know, the designation was presumably due by the board on October 11th, and he had a time-stamped copy that reflected an October 11th filing date. And so, that being the case, I'm recommending that we find no violation.
All right, any questions? Hearing none, is there a motion?
So moved, Kreitz.
Second, Norman.
Thank you.
There's a
We have
motion and
and a
properly
second.
made and properly second to concur with the executive director's recommendation and find no violation. All those in favor of that motion? Raise your hands or say aye.
Aye.
All those
Aye.
against, the ayes have it. The next case is 2020 R-367. In that case, the executive director is recommending that that case be dismissed because the complaint was filed beyond a 2-year statute of the limitations. Again, do you want to address that, Phil?
Pretty simple. Our statutory scheme has a 2-year statute of limitations, and something must be done unless there was malfeasance, misfeasance, or something else that would extend the deadline. Here, we just had a simple either failure to file or a late filing of the 2017 post general report. Well, that would have been due, mid to late December 2017. They filed that with us in August. That's beyond the 2-year statute of limitations. So that's the reason for my recommendation to just dismiss this case.
Okay, is there a motion?
Norman, move to dismiss.
Second, Tavares.
Motion made and properly second to concur with the executive director's recommendation to dismiss the complaint. All those in favor of that motion, raise your hand or say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the ayes have it. The next issue is 2020 R-399. In that case, the executive director is recommending that the case be dismissed because a prior complaint involved the same allegation.
Yeah, if you look at the ICW, you see our case number 2020 R-051, which is a late filing of a designation of treasurer, which we acted on in July, and now they're bringing it back again. Well, you can only really act on it once, so I think it's appropriate that we dismiss this case.
Is there a motion?
So moved, Kreitz.
Second, Norman.
There's a motion made and properly seconded to concur with the executive director's recommendation and dismiss this case. All those in favor of that motion, raise your hand or say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, ayes have it.
Thank you very much.
The next cases are, and I'll start reading the numbers, 2020 R-370, 2020 R-371, 2020 R-386, 2020 R-397, 2020 R-412, 2020 R-413. I believe 411 we already handled.
Correct.
All right. So in the cases I just read off, the executive director is recommending that a violation be found, but for good cause, no imposition of a fine. Is there a motion?
So moved, Tavares.
Second, Beatty.
There's a motion made and properly second to concur with the executive director's recommendation. All those in favor of that motion, raise your hand or say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the ayes have it. The next grouping of cases are 2020 R-366, 2020 R-369, 2020 R-373, 2020 R-374, 2020 R-390, 2020 R-403, 2020 R-409, 2020 R-414, 2020 R-418, 2020 R-419, and 2020 R-424. In those cases, the executive director is recommending that a violation be found and that a $50 fine be imposed. Is there a motion?
So moved, Kreitz.
I second it.
Kaufman.
Okay. There's a motion made and properly second to concur with the recommendation of the executive director. All of those in favor of that motion, raise your hand or say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the ayes have it. The next cases are 2020 R-377, 2020 R-378, 2020 R-389.
I'll stop you right there. That one was one we've already decided.
We decided to continue.
So you're off to 406.
406, before I move off of 46, I have a question for you, Phil. I noticed in the ICW that you had recommended a $50 fine. Is there a reason?
Which one is that? For 406?
Yes.
It's let me look at my ICW. It's certainly possible. I put it in the wrong category. I wouldn't say I. Huh. Yeah. Yeah, why don't we take that out then? That's my screw up. You know, you do enough cutting and pasting, you don't necessarily always get it right. Sorry about that. Yeah, pull that one out and we'll deal with it separate.
Okay. So I think I want to start over on this grouping here. Starting with case 2020R-377, 2020R-378, 2020R-417, 2020R-420. In those cases, the executive director is recommending that a violation be found and that a $100 fine be imposed. Is there a motion?
Norman, so moved.
Right, second.
There's a motion made and properly second to concur with the recommendation of the executive director. All those in favor of that motion say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, the ayes have it. Now, I guess we can go back to case number 2020R-406. In that case, the executive director has recommending that a violation be found and that a $50 fine be imposed.
So moved, Tavares.
Second, Beatty.
There's a motion made and properly second to concur with the recommendation of the executive director. All those in favor of that motion signify himself by saying aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. The next cases, 2020R-385 and 2020R-407. In those two cases, the executive director recommends that a violation be found and that a $150 fine be imposed. Is there a motion?
Norman.
So moved, Kaufman.
Second, Norman.
There's a motion made and properly second to concur with the executive director's recommendation. All those in favor of that motion, raise your hand or say aye.
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 All those opposed, the ayes have it. The next case I believe we handled.
Yes, we did.
That has been extended until January, I believe.
No, the next case, we imposed a $100 fine after we consolidated those
That's
cases.
right.
Nope,
You're right.
the
You're right.
Floyd case. Now we're off to, Lori C. Jones.
And I believe we had already addressed that case.
We addressed the one before it.
Yeah, the one before it.
In 2020R-375 and 2020R-396, the executive director is.
No, hold on. No, 375, I was asking you to move to a continued. The 2020R-375, Broadwell asked to be continued. So I'd move that to continued. Just deal with 2020R-396 for the $25 a day.
Okay, so in case number 2020R-396, the executive director is recommending that a violation be found and that a $25 a day with reconsideration option be found. Is there a motion?
So moved. This is Charlita.
Second, Beatty.
Motion made and properly second to concur with the recommendation of the executive director. All those in favor of that motion, raise your hand or say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. $425, we likewise handled.
Correct.
Which brings us down to the $25 a day with reconsideration options. Starting with.
Let me interject there just to say, because he at least tried to get in before Item number 19, 2020 R384. Why don't we put that under a continuance request and just deal with 381, 408, and 416?
I move to continue 2020 R-384. This is Norman.
Kreitz,
Second,
second.
Cunningham.
Okay.
All those in favor of that motion,
Aye.
raise your hand
Aye.
and say aye. All
Aye.
those opposed, the ayes have it. So starting with case 2020 R-381, 2020 R-408, 2020 R-416. The executive director is recommending a violation be found and a $25 a day with reconsideration option with payment of $250. Is there a motion?
Norman, so moved.
Kreitz, second.
There's a motion made and properly second, concur with the recommendation of the executive director. All those in favor of that motion, raise your hand or say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the ayes have it. The next case is 2020 R-423. In that case, the executive director is recommending that a violation be found and a $4,175 plus $25 a day with reconsideration option. All those in favor of that motion? I'm sorry. Is there a motion?
So moved, Kreitz.
Second, Norman.
There's a motion made and properly second to concur with the recommendation of the executive director. All those in favor of that motion signify themselves by saying aye or raise your hand. All those opposed, motion carried. The next two cases, 2020 R-394 and 2020 R-405, the executive director is recommending that they be continued. Is there a motion?
Just so we're clear, 2020 R-394 has already been continued.
Right, so it's
January
405.
15th.
Okay, so
Yeah.
in 20, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I'll read them off if you just want to go ahead and continue, Mr. Chair. All the rest are continued matters. So that would be 2020 R-405, and for different reasons, but they're all being continued. 2020 R-375, 2020 R-379, 2020 R-393, 2020 R-422, although we'd already dealt with 393. No, I don't think we acted on it. I think we talked about it. We left it there. 2020 R-380, 2020 R-382, 2020 R-388, 2020 R-395, 2020 R-368, 2020 R-376, 2020 R-383, 2020 R-387, 2020 R-391, 2020 R-398,
You've frozen up, Mr. Richter.
Okay, there. Let's get back to it. I disappeared there for a while, didn't I?
You got down to 398.
Okay. 2020 R-400, 2020 R-402, 401 was already dealt with. 2020 R-404, 2020 R-410, 2020 R-415, and 2020 R-421. Mr. Chair, if you would like to continue those would be continued.
Okay. So move.
Thank you.
For the
Okay,
record,
that's
hey,
it.
Hey, Phil, for the record, Mr.
Yeah.
Calendar, who is item 2020 R-385, has apparently now rejoined our hearing.
Ah, okay.
Yes, I'm here, sorry.
Well, sorry for your absence earlier, but the commission had acted on your matter while you were gone. Hold on, let me find it here.
Okay.
Item number 20 on a $150 fine.
Right, what we did was we found that there was a violation and imposed a $150 fine, primarily because there was no response submitted to the commission to give an explanation as to why the designation of treasurer was not timely filed. Although it was filed, according to the board, it was due on November 5th, at least November 5th, I would guess. It was filed on December 19th, I guess, along with all the other reports. And so, like I said, the commission has already acted, but the commission can reconsider a matter and change its finding based on what you say. You're not, is your camera off? If your camera is off, I would request that you turn your camera on so that you can be seen by the commission members. That's their preference.
Yeah,
and
I'm trying to turn it on.
Okay, I can swear you in to make a statement to the commission if you're so inclined.
Okay.
First of all, Mr. Calendar, do you wish this to be reconsidered?
Yes, please.
I would
Okay.
move to the commission to reconsider this matter and allow Mr. Calendar to be heard. This is Norman.
Okay. Where are we at here? 8.5. Okay, so we're reconsidering item number 2020, or item number 20, case number 2020 R-385. Still can't see you, Mr. Or at least I can't, but Mr. Calendar, if you would be sworn, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Okay,
I think we still need action taken on the motion.
true. Okay. Yeah, Mr. Norman had moved to reconsider it. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Raising your hand. Okay, this matter is now back before the commission. Mr. Calendar, please discuss with the commission members the circumstances of your case.
Well, I know this is this was the first time that I kind of gone through this type of step here, so I don't believe I necessarily designated a treasurer. I was trying to designate myself as that particular person, but I think I possibly did that incorrectly. And this was definitely an error made by myself. I thought that I had done things correctly, but I guess apparently that was not the case. So I do apologize for doing this. Once I do have a better understanding of how things work now. So definitely in the future, I would definitely do a better job and take care of this more appropriately.
Mr. Richter, is he now in compliance?
He was always in compliance. He just had not filed a response with the commission. The designation of treasurer, which you're supposed to file prior to having any activity at all, was not filed until, looks like even the post-election report period may have, I don't know whether that was late or not, but it was certainly at a questionable period. It was last December. So he's in compliance, which is one of the reasons why I moved to impose a specific fine amount. Even the board reflected that the designation had been filed. Considering he is now here, he has made a statement to the commission. I'd probably recommend instead of $150 fines, the commission impose a $50 fine, but the commission could certainly find that there is good cause present if it was so influenced by his request and his statement to the commission.
I move that, this is Norman, I move that we reverse our previous finding of $150 fine, but find a violation and impose a fine of $50.
Second.
We
All
have a
those in
motion.
favor of that motion signify themselves by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, the ayes have it.
Okay, that's unanimous. Thank you very much, Mr. Calendar.
Thank you very much, and I will not let this happen again.
We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Have a good day, guys.
You too.
Thank you.
Well, even though I have the wrong date on the other business, the next meeting is actually December 17th and not today. You're participating in today's meeting. But yeah, we're December 17th. And then I did have, I had sent everybody the schedule. We worked back and forth on various dates. Chris has already worked with the staff here in the Rife Center in terms of at least having a meeting space available, which is where he and I are sitting right at the moment. So all the dates for next year's meetings have been set. He's actually already added them to the website. So they're out there as well. People will be able to see them. He will also post agendas as we get them done. Ms. Taveras, I'll offer you to everybody else a word of thanks for your input back on the outline of the preliminary review process. I did my best legalese on laying out how we go about dealing with things at preliminary review and hearing. And as I indicated to her, I thought it would be not necessarily real helpful, honestly, Ms. Cunningham, Mr. Kreitz, or Mr. Norman, of sending it to you because you'd look at it with the same eye I would. So I sent it to her to have somebody else, and she and Chris both had some excellent suggestions. So now, if you go to the website, you will see an explanation of our process under the preliminary review thing. I posted that the other day. So she was very, very helpful, and Chris was as well. I got to add him in there as well in terms of making it a little bit less legalese and more reader friendly, so that everybody understands what we're doing. And so, websites out there, excuse me, working. I talked to Corey Colombo, Don's assistant, about it the other day. He looked at it and has already passed back great praise for its accessibility and what's included there. Also, the state of Ohio, based on kind of input from you guys, they did change the format at the bottom. If you get on the website and you go down to the bottom of the page where it had like the FEC, the Secretary of State, boards of elections, all listed, remember how it kind of kludged together.
You froze up again, Phil.
I'm locked up. There we go. I'm back. I keep disappearing and coming back. It's great when you're working on a state system and you're in a state building and it says you got bad network quality. In a place where we have worked before and presumably had better quality. So you worked through the agenda. That's all I have for today. Not sure if anybody else has any other comments.
Yeah, I wanted to bring up a couple things. One, Scott, last meeting you had mentioned that it might be a good idea that when people address the commission on their respective cases, that especially when we swear them in, that they be on video so we can see who we're actually swearing in. I had a discussion with Phil about that, and perhaps when we send the next notice out, that we make that mandatory, that people have to be on video. Where do we stand with that, Phil? And what's the rest of the commissioners think about it?
Chris is about to share his screen with everybody to show, but what I will add is what I did, Mr. Bromer, after our conversation was some of the people who logged on today had previously accepted the meeting. I didn't know who everybody was, but I had sent out to them, like to Ms. Check. I'm trying to think of who else that I may have caught in there. Ms. Check, Mr. Berkins, Gelfand. I had sent out to them a notice saying that we expected them to log on in a way so they could be seen. We've added that to the website. So there's a little admonition. If you look at the website and try to pick off the link to the meeting from the website, there's a note there that says the expectation is that you will be visible to the commission. Now, Chris, go ahead.
Chris is
You're
muted.
muted, Chris.
Okay, there we go. Okay, so the next notice that's going out is for our January 14th meeting, which is a list of continued cases. But the general verbiage that we opted to put would be here in this first paragraph. That is what we changed, saying you can visit our website for to access the link for this meeting, and if you wish to attend the meeting virtually, that you must access both the video and audio features on the Teams app. The phone call only feature is not an acceptable means as to be sworn to make a statement before the commission. So we opted to highlight that in red so it should stand out to them.
I think it's appropriate.
Great.
As far as the website goes, I don't know, hopefully you can still see my screen. That is the disclaimer we put right below the link to register for the meeting. So that would come up in red, should jump out at them.
Good.
So can we maybe add something in there where they include an email address so that we know who is going to be attending? And if they're just by phone, that they let us know that they're just there for observance, so they don't have to continue to do this. Okay, who is so-and-so and why are they here and why are they not here?
Let me put it this way, for that.
Phil, you're muted.
You're muted.
I muted because I was hearing Chris through both ways. The best answer I got for you right at the moment on that one, Mr. Norman, is I'll work on that. Because obviously the notices that have gone out for the January meeting, Chris has already shown you. We can certainly get that up on the website prior to the next meeting, which we'll do. But yeah, that's not necessarily a bad suggestion. Say, you know, if you're logging in by phone, you will only be an observer to the meeting.
And then even those who are planning on appearing, if the email, we can set up a playlist and set up an order so that we know how we're going to call them.
Right.
You could also have them enter their case number when they log in into chat, or say who they are and what their case number is. I think that would help the commission tremendously in just managing cases and how to call them.
Chris,
Okay.
I don't mean to put a burden on you, but it's interesting how during the course of this, and and I'm down in Florida, but my frames have been completely frozen. But it's interesting how sometimes we just get these random guests sitting there, but really what we should have is the commission members up, as well as, if we can, the person who is speaking, and we're not necessarily getting that.
You're muted now.
I will speak to our OIT guy and find out if there's another means or what options we may have open to us, because I don't know if he will have an answer, but hopefully he should have something for us.
Okay.
I am supposed to meet with him on Monday because I have to swap a computer out that they need to wipe clean and get it back to us because there's a bug somewhere. So hopefully he should have an answer by Monday.
I think that would be helpful.
Okay.
All right, good. Phil, I had one other issue, I think. As I read through those ICWs, I noticed there were a handful of folks that are now invoking COVID as a reason they were not able to go in person and drop off the required documents, saying instead that they put them in the mail, which, you know, might or might not be true. I just throw that out because it struck me that there are other entities that are granting extensions. And how should we as a commission handle that? I suspect we're going to see more and more cases as we in the next few months where folks are going to invoke COVID.
Yeah, well, the best answer I have at this point is I'm trying to take that into consideration too, as I'm going about making my recommendations. You know, I mean, the deadlines are the deadlines.
The US Postal still works.
I'm sorry, say that again, Scott.
I said the U.S. Postal Service still works.
Yeah. But, you know, I guess that's the best answer I can give you at this point is I am doing my best to take that into consideration as well, depending on how late they are, what's going on. I mean, I don't know that I could go to a no violation finding, you know, if they miss a deadline, but you know, I can certainly go to a good cause level almost across the board, depending on what they want, you know, how it impacted what they tried to do and how they tried to file. You know, I mean, if they're still 6 months late, that's a little bit harder to take and just say, okay, yeah, COVID had something to do with that. Although, you know, I mean, you heard from, I think Corrigan and Iaconis both had that as a part of their explanation that they submitted, you know,
Well,
on the
and
matters that we continued.
I do a lot of sort of dealing with government agencies and filings. And I can tell you, I agree, the post is still working, but very slowly. And a lot of the workforce is remote. So even if you get it there, I had one where a Board of Tax Appeals case got filed. It took them 14 days to get the notice of appeal filed and part of their records. And we were calling because we got served by the other party before they ever got it even filed as part of the commission, which triggers your deadlines. I'm having the same experience with auditors and recorders and almost every office I deal with, because you cannot personally go in. You can maybe drop it at the door, or you can FedEx it, or, you know, we have to call them and ask them to go check the box outside if they're willing to do it. So I do sympathize with the requirement, because even if you could get it there timely, there's no guarantee that they'll even receive it timely, because most workforces are remote right now.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm not sure what outcome you're really looking for. I mean, it seems as though, you know, Phil, and then also we as a commission seem to take many things on a case by case basis, which I think is, you know, fair and customized for each individual litigant here. So I'm not really sure what outcome. I don't think we can move towards some type of blanket policy or anything. I don't know if that's what's being hinted at, but I think we do a pretty good job on looking at things on a case by case basis. Even if somebody puts something and you could inquire, ask them to unpack it a little bit more to give us more explanation. But I think, you know, we should just stick with the case by case basis the way that we're doing now. I'm not sure what the outcome you were getting at was.
Yeah, I wasn't looking for any kind of blanket amnesty for people that invoke COVID, because I think that opens Pandora's box. But it just struck me as I was going through the ICWs that some people seem to have genuine complaints about putting it in the mail and in timely, but till the election boards got it, it was late. So I don't know. I just wanted to mention that, and I think we're going to see a lot more of them.
My fear is
I would disagree with that.
My fear is it's going to be a crutch, kind of like the woman this morning who said she couldn't go on camera because she's in bed with COVID. Well, you can at least maybe put a shirt on and say, "Here's my face, swear me in," and then go back off a video.
Yeah, well, I've over the years, I'll be honest with you, I don't know if I want to say gone back and forth on the issue of, you know, mailing, et cetera, because every once in a while, there was a guy, I think it was back in the August meeting, who had this long, involved explanation about how, you know, the campaign finance should be like the IRS, you know, in terms of, you know, the timestamp is good enough. Well, that's never been the case. And all the years of my being aware of campaign finance filings, when it says it's got to be filed by the due date at 4 p.m., that's different than you got to have a timestamp on, or a date stamp on it, a postmark on it. Thank you. Yeah. And so I always kind of look at those, you know, a bit. I don't know if I want to say a bit skeptically, but I try to take that into consideration. But it depends. You know, I mean, if somebody mails it the day before and says, "Oh, I expected it to get to the Board of Elections, you know, by the next day," you know, I'm not as sympathetic to that as I am to somebody who may have mailed it a week in advance and it still didn't get there. Which I have seen that happen in my experience for years. That has been something that has regularly happened. Maybe a little bit more lately than in the past, but that has always been out there in terms of, oh, I mailed it on the day before the election or the day before the due date. I expected it to get there. It only takes, it takes me only 15 minutes to drive down to the Board of Elections. Well, sorry, you stuck it in the mail. Who knows when the mail got done with it? So anyway.
All right. Well, Phil, I think you froze in mid-sentence there.
Mr. Chair, is there any more action?
Won't. And I'm back again. There we go.
I was also going to mention on the video, if somebody wants to participate in the meeting and they're not on video, maybe an opportunity too is to just continue it for them until they can arrange for video. I mean, I think we should be flexible with that, but make it clear that video is required. And if you can't be on video today, for whatever reason, then you need to make arrangements to find a video access. I mean, you can download video to your phone. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
Right. That's reasonable. Okay.
Good point.
Yeah.
All right. Does anybody else have anything? Hearing nothing, I'd like to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. Stay safe. And is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye. Happy Thanksgiving, all.
Happy Thanksgiving. We are adjourned. Thank you very much. Thanks, Sandy. Okie dokie. Everybody else logs off.
Good job, Phil.
Take care. Thanks, Dennis. Good work. There's Sandy's face.
Yeah.
And Mr. Bromer's still there.
Yeah, I'm going.
Okay, and I'm about to leave as well. Hi, Chris.